reached for death, not out of despair, but out of desperation. Imagine a plea for a swift bullet to the head, angled perfectly to hit the hippocampus, the shortest path through the brain. A horrifying thought, isn't it? Yet it's the only mercy I seek. The only release from an ordeal that's been tormenting me for over 10,000 years, all beginning at a seemingly innocuous 10:15 this morning. You see, I'm a guinea pig of sorts, a healthy subject who tests experimental drugs for a living. A kidney drug here, a blood pressure medication there, nothing ever had any noticeable effect. Until today. Today, they gave me a psychoactive pill, one that would accelerate brain function. Little did I know this simple pill would turn my world into a living nightmare. As awful as this sounds, you'll be doing me an enormous favor. I found myself in this predicament because of a simple desire to earn extra money. You see, I had a peculiar job, one that was less about labor and more about lending my body to science. I was a participant in drug trials. The medical term for it is a healthy subject. I would ingest experimental drugs so that researchers could assess their side effects on a human system. Over the years, I've swallowed concoctions meant for kidneys, gulped down substances to regulate blood pressure, and even tasted drugs designed to control cholesterol. The thing is, none of these ever had any noticeable impact on me. I didn't experience any significant change, no hallucinations, no heightened senses, no euphoria, nothing. It was like taking sugar pills. Perhaps I was always in the placebo group, or maybe those drugs just didn't have any effect. But today was different. Today, they handed me a pill and told me it was a psychoactive substance. The aim? To accelerate brain function. At the time, it sounded like something straight out of a science fiction novel. Little did I know it was about to become my terrifying reality. As per usual, they gave me the pill at 10:15 and told me to wait in the room till they called me back for tests. Only about 30 minutes, they said. So I settled down on the couch and picked up a magazine. I wasn't expecting anything to happen. After all, nothing ever did. But today's drug was different. This shit worked. The waiting room was my first taste of the nightmare to come. It was your typical medical facility waiting room, the kind where the humdrum of time seems to slow down to a crawl. Except for me, it was quite the opposite. The minutes were stretching into eons and the seconds were becoming centuries. I found myself on the couch, a copy of Psychology Today in my hands. The articles, normally a chore to plough through, were consumed in what felt like a blink of an eye. Yet when I glanced at the clock, only a handful of minutes had passed. I'd devoured a magazine in less time than it takes to brew a cup of coffee. Thinking it was just a fluke, I picked up another magazine, then another. US News, Scientific American, all read cover to cover in mere moments, yet the clock hands barely moved. An unsettling thought began to gnaw at the edges of my mind. Was this the effect of the drug? My movements felt sluggish, like wading through a pool of thick honey. Standing up from the couch was a Herculean effort. It was not weakness, but an agonizing slowness. It felt like I was moving through a world where time had thickened into molasses. A small bookshelf caught my eye. Selecting a hardcover proved to be another exercise in slow motion. I picked out Moby Dick, a tome I should have spent weeks on, yet there I was, getting through chapter after chapter, while the world around me seemed to be frozen in time. In the midst of it all, they finally called me. I remember the research assistant's words, "Everything seems slow because you're so fast." But it wasn't a superpower. It was a curse. My brain was running a marathon while my body was stuck in a slow dance. I remember thinking this was going to be a long day. I was right. The truth of my condition was revealed not with a bang, but with a whisper. The research assistant, her voice soft and clinical, unraveled the mystery that had wrapped itself around my perception. "You're not slow," she began, her words echoing in the back of my mind as if they were being spoken from a great distance. "Rather, it's the opposite. Everything appears slow because you're moving so fast." It was a revelation that hit me not like a bullet, but like a feather, light and almost unnoticeable. Yet it carried a profound weight. "Your brain," she continued, "is operating at a pace that far outstrips what we consider normal. 10, perhaps 20 times faster." The words hung in the air, a stark realization of my new reality. The world had not slowed down. I had sped up. I was trapped in my own body, my thoughts racing at a speed that far outpaced my physical ability to keep up. It was as if I was moving through a world of molasses, every action requiring an eternity of thought. "But my body," I protested. "It's like I'm wading through quicksand." The research assistant nodded, a sympathetic look in her eyes. "Your body is still bound by the laws of biomechanics. It can't keep pace with your brain. That's why everything feels so slow." I could hardly believe it. I was trapped in a prison of my own making, my mind a racing engine in a chassis that couldn't keep up. The world around me, once so vibrant and fast-paced, was now a slow-motion film reel that I couldn't speed up. "Frankly," the research assistant concluded, her words a cold comfort in the face of my predicament, "you're moving much faster than a normal person." And there it was, the revelation, a truth so stark and terrifying that it sent shivers down my spine. I was faster, but at a cost I could hardly bear. Imagine living in a world where everything is in slow motion except for your mind. A world where your thoughts are racing at breakneck speed while the rest of existence crawls at a snail's pace. This is my reality, my nightmare, the horror of my existence. In this world, I am a prisoner of time, a prisoner of my own mind. My thoughts, racing at a pace that would put a cheetah to shame, are trapped within a body that can barely muster the energy to move. Each step, each gesture, each blink of an eye takes an eternity. I am forced to endure the agonizing slowness of my own existence, while my mind races ahead into the future. The horror of this situation is hard to articulate. The disconnect between my mind and body is a chasm that I cannot bridge. I am forever stuck in the middle, torn between the world of thoughts and the world of actions. I am a spectator, a passive observer in my own life, unable to participate, unable to interact, unable to live. Imagine trying to hold a conversation when each word from the other person takes minutes to reach your ears. Imagine trying to eat when it takes hours for your hand to reach your mouth. Imagine trying to sleep when each second feels like a millennium. This is my existence. This is my nightmare. The world around me has become an alien landscape, a place where time has lost all meaning. I am trapped in a world moving too slow for me. The simple pleasures of life that we all take for granted have become impossible tasks. I am a stranger in my own body, a prisoner in my own mind. This is not a life. This is a torture, a cruel joke played by fate. I am trapped in a world that is moving too slow for me, but I am not giving up. I will fight, I will struggle, I will endure, because in the end that's all we can do, that's all I can do. I'm trapped in a world moving too slow for me. So here I am, begging for a bullet to the brain. An odd request, I know, but in this twisted realm of stretched seconds and elongated minutes, it's a mercy I yearn for. Can you fathom the torment? Each moment an eon, each breath a journey through millennia. It's a nightmare from which I can't awaken, a horror story that's become my reality. The world around me operates at its regular pace, oblivious to my suffering. People laugh, cry, live and die, all in the blink of my eye. Their lives are mere flashes while I'm trapped in this perpetual slow motion. A prisoner of my own accelerated consciousness, my existence has become an endless horror show. So I beg you, end my suffering, grant me the mercy of oblivion. Let a bullet's swift journey through my brain be my salvation. If you're armed and at the Glenmont Metro, please shoot me.